Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, thanks for being here. I am Maya Ariha, your Islamic storyteller. Today, I want to invite all of you on a really special journey, a journey that will take us through the corridors of time to a holy city that was once a first Qibla for Muslim, a city that holds the footprints of prophets and legacy of martyrs, a blessed city. Yes, we are going to talk about Baitul Maqdis. Get ready because this journey is going to be truly heartwarming. Have you ever realized, friends, how often the Quran talks about the land? You might have heard that a third of a quarter of the Quran is about Palestine. Well, this might not be a mathematical calculation, but more about the meaning most of the stories of the children of Israel's prophets, from Prophet Yaqub, Yusuf, Musa, Daud, Sulaiman, all the way to Isa alaihi salam happened in and around this holy land. So you could say Palestine is the main stage for the many epic stories in the Quran. Isn't that amazing? The main source I'm using for this story are the Quran, authentic hadith, Islamic history, or sirah and narration from prominent scholars. Who built Baitul Maqdis? First, there's a key hadith from the companions Abu Dhar al-Ghifari that Rasulullah SAW said, Al-Aqsa Mosque was built 40 years after Masjidil Haram. Hadith from Bukhari and Muslim. Scholars explain the sequence. It was built by Prophet Adam or his son, re-established by Prophet Ibrahim and rebuilt by his grandson, Prophet Yaqub alaihissalam. Finally, it was perfect into a magnificent building during the time of Prophet Daud and Sulaiman alaihissalam. This land is also the birthplace of many prophets and great scholars. Among the prophets born here are Prophet Ishaq alaihissalam, Prophet Yaqub alaihissalam, and of course Isa alaihissalam in Bethlehem. This land also gave birth to great scholars like Imam As-Safi in Gaza and Ibnu Qudamah al-Maqdisi. From the story of Prophet Sulaiman with the jinn, the preparation from heaven to Maryam, to Prophet Musa prayers to die near it. Everything shows just how noble this land is. And the sanctity of this land doesn't stop here, friends. Baitul Maqdis bore witness to a crucial turning point in Islamic history. For about 16 to 17 months, Muslims prayed facing Baitul Maqdis. But Prophet Muhammad SAW heard long for the Qibla to return to the Kaabah. Let's imagine for a moment, friends, how great was the Prophet's love for the Kaabah, but also how obedient he was to Allah's command. One day in Medina, the Prophet Rasulullah SAW stood in prayer and kept turning his face toward in the sky, waiting for revelation. Allah immortalized this moment in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 144. We have certainly seen the turning of your face toward the heaven, and we will surely turn you to a Qibla with which you will be pleased. Soon after command come down, and the Qibla for Muslim was changed to the Kaabah in Mecca. Allahu Akbar. That moment of waiting was recorded by Allah in the Quran. Isn't it beautiful? I'm getting goosebumps just imagining it. Despite the change of Qibla, the sanctity of Baitul Maqdis never faded. It became the resting point during the Isra Mi'raj. The Prophet Muhammad SAW made journey from Masjidil Haram to Masjidil Al-Aqsa. Before ascending to the heaven, it was here that Prophet Muhammad SAW led all the prophets and messenger in a prayer. Wow, I'm getting goosebumps. Imagine it. All the prophets and messenger gather in one place, and their imam was our beloved leader. Prophet Muhammad SAW. This confirms that Al-Aqsa Mosque is the gathering place for all prophets, and Prophet Muhammad SAW is their leader. The story of Baitul Maqdis greatness continued not only in the time of the prophets, but also through the era of the Caliphate and Islamic heroes. Allah has always given His help to free this holy city. When the Muslims successfully liberated Jerusalem from Roman rule, Umar bin Khattab entered peacefully. With him was Bilal ibn Rabah. You know who is he? The Prophet Muazzin, who had stopped calling the azan after the Prophet died. At Khalifah Umar's request, Bilal finally made the call to prayer or azan. His voice echoed, making all the companions present cry as they remember their beautiful time with Rasulullah SAW. I can just imagine how heavy and longing the hearts of the companions were at the time. As a sign of Islamic tolerance, Umar refused to pray inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre to ensure the Christian place of worship remained protected. After being controlled by the Crusader army, Baitul Maqdis was recaptured by Salahuddin al-Ayyubi. He showed incredible tolerance, reflecting the noble character of Islam. This is it, friends, the character of a true Islamic leader. How awesome is that? Winning but remaining humble and just. But did the struggle to protect this holy land end there? Of course not, guys. That flame of struggle continues to burn into the modern era. At the end of the 19th century, as the Ottoman Caliphate weakened, the Zionist movement led by Theodor Herzl came with a cunning offer. They offered to pay off all the Ottoman Caliphate debts if the Sultan would sell the land of Palestine to them. Hearing this, Sultan Abdul Hamid II, the last Caliph with a real power, gave a historical and powerful response. He said, "Advise Mr. Hazel not to pursue his plan. I will not surrender even a span of this land, for it is not mine. This land belongs to the Muslim. The Muslims have strangled for it and watered it with their blood. Let the Jews keep their wealth. If one day the Ottoman Caliphate falls, then perhaps they may take Palestine without paying its price. But as long as I'm alive, I would rather a sword pierce my body than see Palestine betrayed and separate from the Caliphate. Such separation will never happen, and I shall never be the one to begin it." Allahu Akbar. Think about the firmness, guys. In the midst of a tight spot, he saw the attitude of a true leader who guards the trust of the Ummah. This is an attitude we should remember forever. However, after the fall of the Ottoman Caliphate, the door to colonization was wide open. The peak occurred in 1948, when an event known as Nakba, or the Great Catastrophe, happened. In that year, the state of Israel was proclaimed, and hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were forcibly expelled from their homes and birthplaces, becoming refuge in their own land and its neighboring countries. This is a very deep wound and become the beginning of the long suffering of the Palestinian people until today. Since then, the struggle to reclaim their rights and homeland has never faded. Various resistance movements were born from the womb of this suffering. This was a deep wound, marking the beginning of a long struggle and suffering for the Palestinian people that continues to this day. Since then, the fight to reclaim their rights and homeland has never stopped. Out of this pain, different resistance movements emerged. One of them was in 1987 during the First Intifada, the operation often called the Stone Revolution, when Harakat al-Muqawamah al-Islamiyah, better known as Hamas, was born as part of the effort to liberate Palestine. This struggle seems to be a bright for us to see the destiny of Baitul Maqdis in the future. There are promises from Allah and His Messenger that await in the end of the times. Baitul Maqdis has a great destiny at the end of time. Prophet Muhammad SAW prophesied that the Caliphate would settle in the land of Al-Maqdis. Hadith from Abu Dawud. Hearing this hadith, it makes me wonder, will we get to be a part of that generation? The Prophet also promised that there will always be a group of his ummah who will uphold the truth in the land of Sham. The army always supported by Allah. The promise of victory for Allah's soldier will surely come true. One of the signs mentioned in the prophetic tradition in the Black Banner army from Khurasan. Rasulullah SAW said, "From Khurasan will emerge black banners, and nothing will be able to stop them until they arise in Jerusalem, Baitul Maqdis." Hadith narrated by Ahmad Al-Tirmidzi and Ibnu Majah. The promise of victory of Allah's army will be realized, and this is where Prophet Isa AS will descend, pray behind Imam Mahdi, and kill the Dajjal at the gate of looted Palestine. Masya Allah, this is the ultimate moment. What do you think, guys? After learning its roots from the time of Prophet Adam AS, the struggle of the Khalifah Ummah, the firmness of the Ottoman Sultan, and the bloody modern struggle that is still ongoing, you can really feel how noble and heavy the trust of protecting Baitul Maqdis is. It is a silent witness to the struggles of the Prophet, scholars, and Islamic heroes. It is a reflection of faith, patience, and blessing. Hopefully, this story can increase our love for Baitul Maqdis and motivate us to keep learning about Islamic history. Thank you so much for watching today's story. As a closing, let's send our best prayer for all the people of Palestine. May this blessed land from its river to the sea finally achieve true freedom, independence, and peace. If you find any additional information or if I have made any mistake, feel free to correct me in the comments, okay? See you on the next stories journey. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.